Yo, what's up, folks? It's your boy Sports PSP in the building. Hope everyone's enjoying a fantastic day. Want to talk about some NBA news. The NBA has announced that Joel Embiid is the league MVP. I'm reading an article here from Tim Bontemps of ESPN. Philadelphia 76ers center Joel Embiid won the NBA's Most Valuable Player Award for the 2022-2023 season, the league announced Tuesday, finally claiming the prestigious trophy after finishing second the past two seasons. Embiid flipped the script with a dominant season as he finished ahead of both Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic and Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo for the league's top individual honor. What felt like a tight race throughout much of the season ended as a blowout, with Embiid garnering 73 of the 100 available first place votes, which is a total of 915. Jokic had 15 first place votes, which is a total of 674, while Antetokounmpo claimed 12, which is a total of 606. And Boston Celtics forward Jason Tatum finished fourth, and Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander captured fifth. Embiid has been determined to win and campaigned for the MVP trophy for years. The third overall pick of the 2014 draft, Embiid missed his first two full seasons with injuries before settling in as a perennial All-Star and All-NBA player. The affable center became the face of the 76ers rebuilding effort, more commonly known as The Process. He embraced the nickname and is introduced before every home game as Joel The Process Embiid. The 29-year-old from Yaoundé, Cameroon, had a career year, leading the NBA in scoring for a second straight season while improving his efficiency, averaging career highs of both 33.1 points per game and 54.8% shooting to go along with 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and 1.7 blocks per game. The win for Embiid marks the third straight for a center after Jokic's wins the past two seasons, and the fifth straight overall for an international player dating back to Antetokounmpo's victories in the 2019 and 20 seasons. Before the past 5 years, the only international players to win the MVP were Hakeem Olajuwon in 1993-1994, Steve Nash in 2005-2006, and Dirk Nowitzki in 2006-2007. The MVP award was renamed after Michael Jordan this season as part of an overall overhaul of the league's awards. So you can read the rest of the article from Tim Bontemps at ESPN. Here are my thoughts. First and foremost, I am happy for Joel Embiid. Great guy. He's affable. He's fun. He's engaging. He talks a lot of trash. He's very skilled, and you can't argue the numbers this season. He led the NBA in scoring, 33.1 points per game, averaging 10.2 rebounds, 8th in the league in rebounds, shooting a career high 54.8% from the three. I mean, he is just an offensive load. I mean, you're asking him to do so much offensively and defensively. I gotta be honest, folks. Early on in the season, Joel Embiid, I'm sorry, I actually had Nikola Jokic winning the MVP because at one point he was averaging a triple-double, and he helped the Denver Nuggets get the number one seed in the Western Conference, which they clinched, of course. But later on, during the months of March and April, the Nuggets were struggling. They were losing some games to the Brooklyn Nets. They also lost a game to the Houston Rockets. And then when you look at what Embiid was during the month of March and April, I mean, it speaks a lot of volume. And we can't ignore what Joel Embiid did to Nikola Jokic early on in the season. I mean, when the Nuggets traveled on the road to Philly, Joel Embiid did give Jokic 47 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists in that game. I thought Embiid missing the game against the Nuggets, I thought that would have cost Embiid the MVP. But you also have to factor Embiid's performance against the Celtics, in which he had like 50 points in that game against the Celtics. So Embiid is just phenomenal, man. He deserves it. Some people will make the argument for sympathy MVP because they look at the past 2 seasons. He was the runner-up and he should have won it. Kind of like with James Harden going back in 2014. I thought he should have won the MVP over Steph Curry, but that's a story for another day. But Embiid did it. And I think the cases for Embiid was that the fact that he was available, he was great during the months of March and April. You look at the game against the Boston Celtics later in the year, in which he had 52 points and 13 rebounds. And if you take away Joel Embiid out of the equation, how good would the Philadelphia 76ers would be? Yes, they still have James Harden, and James Harden had 21 and 10, still led the NBA in assists. And yes, some people will argue, well, James Harden did score 45 points in a playoff game. Imagine what he would do without Joel Embiid. But James Harden is not what he used to be going back to his days in Houston. He can still give you quality production, but he's not what he used to be in Houston. And if you take away Joel Embiid out of the equation, how good would Philadelphia be? I just think Joel Embiid deserved it. I got no problem with it. I don't think it's because of sympathy. I think it's because he was dominant later in the season. Early on, folks, I did have Jokic winning the MVP. I actually did have Jokic winning the MVP. But considering what Embiid did during the months of March and April, in which he was named Kia NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Month, what more could you say? So I'm happy for Joel Embiid winning the MVP. He deserves it. But anyway, folks, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Who do you think should have won the MVP? Should have been Joel Embiid? Should have been Nikola Jokic? Should have been Giannis? Or whoever? And much more. Other than that, folks, it's your boy Sports PSP. Hope you're enjoying the rest of your day, and God bless.